Okay, so a small video today to help stakeholders, decision makers, and anybody working in the IT field without technical skill uh, to explain and show. I want to demonstrate what it is possible to do today with AI, implementing architectural change on the website I manage without writing a single line of code. So I know we often see today videos about like how AI is insane and how you can quickly do few stuff like a landing page or a small project, but we never see from the back office perspective, from the coder, like completely. Uh, and that's what I want to show you. So I hope the video won't be too long because the problem we're gonna fix today is quite complex, but I want to show you that I did this change without changing a single line of code. The thing is, I estimated this work to 1 week, and I was able to do it in 4 hours with AI. So I will just explain a bit of the context. So the website is called Indulgit, and that's a Linktree alternative. I don't know if you ever tried to create a Linktree account, but I find it pretty complex to make a single page when the use is pretty simple. People just need to share links. So the idea was to provide people a way to share their page of link without taking an hour to do and for free. This shouldn't be a service that needs to be paid for. So when I created this website, I created it as a MVP. And of course, I deployed it as soon as possible because the idea was to try it, see if it works, if I could get users and everything. So I will quickly show you for people who don't know what Linktree is. Basically, the idea was to provide user with simple 8 steps. They can create a page which reference their link to their social account and share a single link which then people can land on a landing page, and they have all their link to their socials. And this was made so they can just create a page and it's loaded in live on the side using Ajax. But that's not what we are gonna be looking at today. Today we are gonna be looking at the dashboard because the problem I have is that now I have users with um, around like 40,000 visits per day, and my product, because it was an MVP, wasn't built to scale that far. So now currently when people goes on their dashboard, it's pretty slow to load, and I will tell you why. Because this page is cached, but the problem is it has to be uncached every time a user visits a page. So to explain to you a bit the context, that's quite simple. Users, which here is called influencer, share its link to Indulgit website, and a visitor would click, and I would register the source, so where the visitor is coming from. So it could be any website, could be YouTube, it could be a personal website, it could be anything. And I will record the target, so where this visitor is going, on which link he's clicking. Um, and this is recorded in an entity which is called a click. And this click records the country of origin, the source, the target, and other information, which I'm simplifying here. Okay, so this click entity is used to build a dashboard where users can see their inbound, so that's the source, the outbound, that's the target, the countries of the visitors, and making a total. So it becomes a bit more complex because this is all the time analytics, but they also are able to see, for example, each month, or they can enter a custom uh, range and see the statistics for their page. Here, this is all built using the click entity meaning that I have to load each time all the entity for the period and do the math, do the statistic to display the charts. Which is not a problem when you have 1,000 entities, but when you start to have 40,000 entities, mostly to me, I was thinking it was the all-time statistic, which took time to load. But at the end, you will see with the discussion with AI, of course, if you scale a month, if tomorrow I have a user which make, I don't know, 1 million views of its page, I have the same problem if I need to load 1 month. Okay, so that is for the context. So let's start to discuss with AI. So I'm using Google AI Studio with Gemini 2.5 Pro. I'm using all free. You can do it without paying a cent, even though you have a very nice feature from Google which let you see the estimated cost you will have if you are using the API and doing that directly in your IDE, which actually save more time because now here I had to copy and paste, whereas you could do this directly in your IDE, and the AI is writing the code for you directly in the file, creating the file and everything. And I will maybe make another video next time. So 1 week of work is estimated to 80 cents and was done in 4 hours. Okay, let's start. So I will give you the prompt. I will try to make it short so it's not too long. So I'm starting by giving Gemini context. So I have a Drupal website which provides linking bio services to users. Currently, I already have a few users. Some of them are making more than 10K visits per month. I'm providing analytics about inbounds and outbounds, notably by providing all-time statistics in addition to monthly statistics. The issue is that this page become very slow for users with like 30 to 40K inbound or an outbound. I need to improve the code. I was thinking of creating a new entity called blah blah, which will hold the sum of monthly statistics. So here, my idea, so let me remind you, I came in and I wanted to work on that. I came to this area without really thinking about my problem, okay? I didn't think about my architecture. I literally came and say, solve my problem. The thing is, I wrote the code a while ago and I didn't even remember the way I was building my statistics, so I don't even know what kind of structure I needed. So what I'm telling it is, why not storing a month of clicks? So if I have 40,000 clicks, I will create one single entity and which will hold all the information I need. So the origin website, the visited website, and the countries. So I'm telling the AI, let's try this. Uh, Here again, I'm coming like with a fresh brain, so I'm just telling it, for now, I don't want you to start working on the code. I need you to analyze my architecture and brainstorm with me about the best possibility for long-term scalable solution. So here's the thing is I'm also giving the controller. So a controller is basically the element which render this page. So it is where all the code for displaying this page, all the magic happen. Okay, so let's see the answer given by Gemini. So first first sentences are always a bit funny, so I will skip them all the time. Your idea of creating a summary entity is on the right track, but we can refine it to build a truly robust and scalable long-term solution. Let's break it down. So analysis of my current code, massive entity load, and that is of course the problem. I need to load 40,000 entities right now to display the total statistics. A PHP side aggregation. So while PHP is fast, it's the wrong tool for doing the job. So analysis of my proposed solution. Pro. It correctly addresses the main problem by avoiding the massive entity load. It drastically reduces the number of records, and it uses a cron queue worker to process this asynchronously, meaning each month it will automatically do the job in the back end without anyone intervening. Areas for improvement, granularity. So yeah, it is asking why a month and not a week, but which makes the problem more complex. We will see later. Data structure, how would you structure this entity? Would one entity store the count for one source for 1 month, etc.? This would still result in many summaries entity. So here's the thing. Problem is this code, I wrote it a while ago, and to be honest, I have no idea about the data structure of this entity right now. I just came with the idea, why not merging thousands of entities into a single one? But I haven't thought about what this entity could look like, because I know it's gonna do it for me. Entity versus custom table. Does this summary data? Okay, I will pass on that because we will go to its solution. So, recommended architecture, the hybrid aggregation model. Uh, Core ID. Create a custom database table for daily aggregated statistic. The statistic page will then query the summary table for all historical data and the raw click table for today's data only. So the thing is, it wants to create a specific table in MySQL to hold all the information. And here we can see that it has already figured out actually the structure I would need for this table. If I had to create an entity, I would probably create an entity which would have been very close to it. But you will see, because I don't like really this idea of creating a new table, because why? It completely think of Drupal. It's just if I'm creating a custom table, then I can't use Drupal services. I can. It's like completely out of Drupal. So I insist in the next prompt to not go with this and go with a custom entity and not just a MySQL table. So I'm writing. I'm not so fan of your approach. I don't need the data stored to be really granular because I only display full-time statistic and monthly statistic. So except if a user has millions of views each month, the page should still load faster. Because with my approach, I totally fix this problem of the total. But I still do have an issue with this month or last month, for example, because I'm still holding 1 million of click if someone may produce so much visit one day. So my approach is not the best too. Um, so I'm now trying to offer an alternative solution to Gemini, because I don't want to use a custom table too, because then I will just have to query it, okay, using Drupal tools, but it will be completely independent of Drupal. So I'm telling it, okay, another approach could be to use Drupal user data tables. So it is a specificity of Drupal where you can store, for example, preferences for a user, and it's querying. You can query this table by using services provided by Drupal, etc., etc. But what I'm not thinking about that when I'm writing that is that this table is pretty simple. It is a key value table, so attached to a user. So it would literally mean I have to store all my data in a blob or a JSON, and that's exactly what it's gonna tell me. So let's go for the strengths of this approach. So simplicity, you don't need to define a new table with hook schema. You can use user data service, and that was my point. Solves the primary problem. It absolutely avoids loading 4,000 entities. The current week query will be much smaller than the all-time query, so the page will be significantly faster. But so it will describe to me issues I haven't thought about, because to think about them, I would have to start implementing the thing and see it's a dead end, because it's not. Of course, if I figured out I can only store key and value, I would have to store all my data into a JSON or a serialized array, and I would probably say, no, it's not the right approach, but I could fix that in one prompt because it's telling me that. So the serialized data problem, biggest issue, and that's all I needed to know. The user data table store your data in a single column as a serialized PHP string. You cannot query this data with SQL. And that's right. I can load it by user, which is great. I can say, give me the data for this user, but I can't query the data inside the value. So it is pretty bad. Um, so it comes back. That the thing is, it comes back with the same idea. It insists and tell me you should go with a simple table using a summary. And after I'm reading, so because uh, it comes this comparison table it created was pretty nice because it compares my ID with its ID. So feature user data approach and a custom table. Simplicity very high, not new table definition needed, and that was kind of my point. But creating a table, another table, simplicity is high. A simple table schema is not too much work, and that's totally true. Performance good, a big improvement over the current code, and its approach excellent. Queries are more efficient and consistent. Monthly stat very difficult. Weekly data doesn't align with months. So actually, because it wanted to do it by week, but by week it's impossible because if you want to query a month, you don't know you can't query 4.2 week. If data are stored per week, you will lose either data. You can only query 4 week. You can't query a month because not all months are 4 weeks. Sometimes it's 4 weeks and 2 days, or so it's not possible. But using a custom table, trivial, of course. Flexibility very low, and that's true, and very high for him. For its approach, you can do basically whatever you want. Scalability medium, and that's true because blob is a bottleneck, and for relational data, it's excellent. So that's all I need to be convinced. So I come back to it. Okay, you definitely convinced me. Let's go with your solution. Let's create a custom table. I'm using Drupal 11 with PHP 8.3. So here I'm just giving context so it knows what kind of code it has to write. Make sure to adapt your code to it. For now, let's create the table that will hold the values. Make sure to take a look back at general global. So I'm sending it back to the initial prompt I made and tell it check the code again so you make sure you know on what you're working. And I asking it, okay, let's create the table. So it comes with a hook schema, which is exactly what I need. And I will do it with you because that's the idea of this video is I will show you that we will do this entire change without touching a single line of code. And here it is pretty smart because it already knew my module name just from the one controller code I sent to it. It knew I was working in Ender statistic schema, so there is nothing to change here. Let's analyze quickly, but then it goes with the structure it wanted, but it put everything as a primary key, which is discussable, but who cares? And it does create an index on user month type, which will hold the months formatted as year and month, which is very important because an index is kind of, I mean, it's what the name says. Let's see the database as a book, and the index you can see where are the information. So queries are way faster with an index, and even more when it's string like that. Otherwise, it would have to go through each row and not know where they are stored. So the index is telling it this row is stored there, this row is stored there. So perfect, nothing to change. Code is good. My only problem here, it gives me a hook schema, and so to implement the table, I would have to uninstall and reinstall my module, and that's what it's telling me to do, but I can't uninstall my module. I have too much dependency and stuff like that. So my next prompt is literally, I cannot uninstall a module. You need to create a hook update. So it creates a hook update. And again, I'm just copying and pasting. So a big, small difference is I'm putting it in a post update, so I will just change the name, and I'm not even looking because it takes the schema, so I'm not looking. I will run it, and we can go check in the database if everything looks good. So that's the table it created, and I can see UID, year, month, type, value, total, and we do have an index on user month type. Almost everything is as a primary key, which is it's not a big deal. Uh, Seems pretty efficient to me. Okay, so now just a little reminder of what we are doing so we don't lose track. Uh, when a visitor enters the website, we record the source, so the website he came from. We register the target, so which button, which link he's gonna click, and we register its country of origin. What we are doing right now is we are revamping the structure so the clicks attached to one user, which currently hold source target country, we want to re refactor them to just count how many Instagram click did I have for the month for 1 month. So here I took October. So how many Instagram click I had for October? How many TikTok click I had for October? Where did these visitors go? So how many clicked on Snapchat? How many clicked on YouTube? How many clicked on TikTok? And how many were from USA? How many were from Germany? And how many were from France? And that is what we are doing in our table here. We will be storing all the statistics related to the click. Okay, so here it becomes a bit more complex because we want to use a cron task, which is an automated task and which doesn't require any intervention from us. So Drupal is gonna execute this code uh, when we configure it, so here once a month, and it's gonna perform, uh, it's gonna change the structure, if I create the new structure of our clicks into statistics. The problem is this task is big, so if I have 2000 users, I can't make this happen in one cron because cron have usually 60-second execution time and this will probably take more. So what I need to do is create the first cron task which will create other cron tasks for each user. So then I will be performing each user one by one uh, on other cron tasks. So it will be all automatic, only it's a bit complex because we can't do it in once. We need to do it, but split it per user, which is a good approach because then it's for each user, it's quite fast. And if it fails, it doesn't matter, we will re-execute it. So I'm telling Gemini, okay, the table is created. Let's create the cron job. I'm using Ultimate Cron and have started the implementation. Please complete it. Um, you can also already start the cron function definition and the queue worker. So the queue worker is the second cron task. So first cron task, which will be executed once a month, and then queue worker will be each running for one user on cron task. Okay, so here the same. So for I will just import the configuration here. You would export it as file normally, um, but for the purpose of this video, it's not relevant. Okay, and I want a cron job. confirm. We want the callback of this cron job. Okay, we need to use database. And but let's go with the queue worker, so we make it fast. So how it's called? Monthly summary. So of course, you would, for the purpose of the video, I'm just copying and pasting, but of course you do have to make some change. Naming convention for the monthly summary, I would call it monthly summary queue, change whatever I need. Here we see we have a little problem, but basically that's it. So what is the problem here? Okay, because the add expression is returning a string, so we can't chain it. I pass the detail, but there is a little change we need to do. Okay, I mean, of course I'm reviewing when I'm doing that, but I can tell you the code is pretty decent, so there is not much to do to it. Tuk tuk tuk. Ah, it created a specific logger channel also. We don't want this. Yeah, of course. It's actually not. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Oh, I never know if that's a dot or. Okay, that would be okay. Okay, those are still the small changes you need to do, which you could ask the AI to do for you. Okay, let's see. Let's clear the cache. Not the right website. Okay, let's go to see if we have our cron. Okay, enter statistic monthly summary, and it is there. We also have, so here, this function is the function which will be executed here every month. Once a month, this function is going to be executed, and then it's going to send queue workers for each users. So we can see it, queue. So it creates a queue, and then what this simple cron is doing is sending each user. It's like scheduling another cron task for each user, which is this other piece of code. Okay, so we can see if that works, because that's the best way of testing it. So now today it's currently November 10, so it should create the code for it should update the table here for last month. So I see we have a little problem, of course. I never know if that's logger factory with a dot or with an underscore. Okay, so did it work? Okay, so we can see it worked. It updated the table, and we have all data, all click reorganized and counted for each user for October, because the cron only ran for last month. We will have to sort the next program later. So user 236 for months for October source. So one user came from Google Android, one user came, no, 12 user came from Facebook, one user came from Google, 9,000 from Instagram, some from Indulge It. It's because when they reload the page, if I lose track from them, I have to register where I'm from, some unknown, and country, Canada, US 28. So basically, it does work. Our data seem pretty decent, and the best way at the end to verify is everything work is we will just compare the data I will have in the new dashboard with the data I have on the dashboard and production right now and see that it works. So there is no more to it right now. So what was my next prompt? Okay, it's wonderful. It works perfectly well for last month. Are you sure? So sometimes it's great to ask for it to double validate. So I'm just checking, like, are you sure? Like they want sum up total. It doesn't matter, but it's just I'm asking a double check. And now I'm saying, okay, let's go to modify general global statistic because we made all the magic for last month. We still have the magic to do for the previous months before October, but we have all the magic for last month. And I'm saying, okay, let's go and change. Uh, let's start to change the controller. So, tuk tuk tuk. Okay, inside your class, make sure. Mhm. So again, I repeat, all this you should be able to do it directly from your ID, which is even saving more time. I think it came just with content. Okay, and we need connection. I'm not, I mean, this is indeed just for the sake of the video. I'm not cleaning, I'm not doing stuff which are needed. Aggregate, uh, of course. So here we don't load any entity. We use direct query to the database to calculate, which is kind of insane because MySQL is of course the best tool to make big queries, big data like that, which is something I don't do every day because in Drupal project we usually don't have such type of needs where you have to provide statistics or stuff like that. So actually it's very handy here for me and it's just delivering me the job without having to do anything. I mean, I have to type prompt. um, okay, it's not collabable. What content? Ah, yeah, I removed content. Okay, so he kept content. Yes. Okay. I deleted too much data because it said it did what I asked. Mm. Okay, so it did also change to generate global statistic like asked. Um, Reusing some of my code, not reusing some. You can quickly see what is changed here on the left. You have the colors. So blue are for deletion and green for additions. But okay, let's go and try to see if it works. So no, we have a little problem with okay, line 334. Okay, I will just quickly have to go check. I could make a hotfix, but I want to understand what's happening. Oh, I think I remember. It's because the way it's making the query. Sometimes number come first, sometimes the string come first. Aha, yeah, of course, he's trying to add, okay, he's trying to add a string. So here, I don't want to bother, so I will ask it to fix it for me. Which is not what I did. Okay, so I will just follow the process I did. Apparently I didn't even test it. I I just jumped to the next task. Okay, so now I need a hook update because of course we created the data for last month with our cron, but we still have to create a hook update to fetch the data from every month before and perform the same change structure. So we need to take our clicks and put them into statistics. So I'm asking it to do it. I will just quickly check if yes, because he provided a batch which I didn't like, so then I came back with um, giving him an example of what I expected. So I just copied one of my code where I use batch, the batch API, and just told him, no, give me the code following the same approach. Um, okay, we will put it in post update also. Okay, this time it figured out it was a post update, and we're gonna run it and see if it fails. No, so aggregated statistic for we have the previous month. Let's see if we have the data in the database. Okay, so it didn't work, and apparently I didn't go ask for it, so I just took a little bit of time to analyze, and uh, it's actually pretty simple because so I will call that like a brain fart from AI. Um, we want to, of course, for we want to gather data for each month, so we are querying the database with start of the month and end of the month. And what's funny is here he wrote as a string and timestamp, which is nothing. So we just need to take this variable it forget to take and put it here. And let's rerun the code. So I will have to change the name of the function. And see if we have the data in the database this time. Yeah, so we have July, August. Looks good. As said, at the end we can just check the dashboard and see if they're okay. So I'm not gonna go check more than that. I want to speed up the process. So my next prompt was, okay, you did something great. I'm asking it to double check because when you work with date, it's always a problem, which is actually very well handled in Drupal because you want to display information in the user time zone. So of course, if my user is in the dashboard and wants the data from today, if I'm not giving it in the right time zone, then you will see zero data or wrong data because timestamp are stored as UTC in the database, and then if we don't convert them into their time zone, they will not see data or see wrong data, more data than they're supposed to see. So that's what I was asking AI to double check. It gave me for each piece of code where, okay, please reapply the logic, okay. So I'm not gonna do that here. I'm passing. We need to go faster, but I did everything with AI. Okay, what was my next prompt? Haha, so that was the problem I was talking about before, and it is the one from our. No, it's not from the dashboard. That's in the queue worker get aggregated statistic. Let's just take this version of the function because I remember it's fixing an issue. No, it is in my controller actually. Get aggregated statistic. Ah, but yes, that is the problem we have. That should fix. So here is the thing. I didn't come with the solution. It came with the solution, but I came with the analysis of the problem. So I just told him what I was explaining a bit before. Uh, that information sometimes they come first and sometimes they come in second. So um, I gave him the analysis and he came up with the answer. So let's see if this works now. This works. Yep, it works. So here we are now querying our new table, doing the logic which I haven't even looked at, and we still have the same data. At least it looks like it. We have 70k interaction, 40k inbound. If you remember the bit before, first was United States. So it seems like now it seems that are pretty good. So we just made a huge architectural change, and I didn't write a single line of code. What was my next prompt? Okay, yes, of course, because now I went to, so this controller, well, I lied a bit to you before when I said it was to render the entire page. This controller only renders this page, this part of the page. So I had to give it this profile chart controller, and I just pasted the code and ask it to revamp it to now use a new way of fetching the data. So refactor code. Pro okay, it's not giving us the full. Be careful, my other functions are still expecting an array of you need to align them with your change. Okay, so I was struggling with what he gave me, so I just again pointed it to where was the issue. Blah blah blah. Here's the complete full code refactor. Yes, and thank you. And this time I don't have to go. It made the controller for me, which is way better. Reload chart and change. I still need a bit of code from me. Okay, let's have a quick look. Yeah, I have to write. Okay, my options. I need to keep my options here. Let's see if I can do that. Data label dataset. Okay, I can just revert. I will revert here too. It's just the way the data need to be formatted to create the charts. Okay, everything should be good. Let's try. So here we just change the entire controller to display those charts. So I just reloaded the page. It seems pretty much the same. And about take my words, but of course I checked everything and data are exactly the same. There is no change. Okay, it's just not clean, but for the purpose of the video, that's it. So, I guess I can stop the video here because we did the biggest part. So here you saw I made a big refactoring in few hours. Took me 4 hours. There were more prompt. I did the task was way bigger than that. I have a lot of prompt, but the ability of Gemini to keep track of what was said and because one of the biggest problem we had with AI few 6 months ago was that the more prompts and the more complex the task will get and the more hallucination you will get. And plus, it wasn't so skilled on Drupal, for example, whereas here we already are at a stage where I can literally copy and paste and everything is done for me. So here it is, that's it. I hope you will enjoy coding with Drupal and yeah, enjoy.